Chosen one, listen closely. You didn't stumble onto this message by accident. No, heaven has been whispering your name. And tonight your spirit finally answered the call. Take a breath. Because what I'm about to share may shift your entire perspective. Right now you might be staring at an empty bank account. You might be wondering how your dreams could ever catch up with your dollars. Maybe you're asking yourself, God, when is it my turn? And yet, here you are. And I need you to understand something bold, something dangerous, something powerful. Heaven already declared you wealthy long before your wallet ever reflected it. Let that sink in for a moment. Because the world looks at your current balance and laughs. They see numbers. But God sees legacy. God sees destiny. God sees someone he can trust with more. That tension you've been feeling lately, the pressure that seems to squeeze you from every side, it's not punishment. It's preparation. Heaven has been shaping you for something greater, something beyond survival, something that will feel so sudden, so overwhelming. It may even feel like divine whiplash. One day you'll be praying just to make it through the week. The next, you'll be stewarding six-figure wire transfers. One day you'll be knocking on doors that never opened. The next, you'll be walking into rooms you once only dreamed about. But hear me, this next level is not just about digits and dollar signs. No, it's about discipline. It's about destiny. It's about divine responsibility. To whom much is given, much will be required. Luke 12:48. And that's why you're here. Because you're not just being blessed, you're being entrusted. Now pause for a second. I need you to recognize the weight of what's happening right now. The very fact that you're hearing these words is confirmation. Heaven is aligning something in your life, and deep down you feel it. That stirring in your spirit isn't random. It's recognition.
So let me ask you to do something bold, something symbolic, something prophetic.
If your spirit is agreeing with what I'm saying, if you feel the fire rising inside you, I want you to declare it right now. Type 777 in the comments below. That's your sign. That's your agreement with heaven. That's you saying, I'm ready. Ready to be trusted. Ready to be transformed. Ready to step into my divine assignment. Don't let this moment pass you by. Don't scroll past like it's just another video. This is different. This is sacred. Because what God is preparing in your life won't make sense to others. It won't look logical on paper. It won't add up in the eyes of man. But it isn't supposed to. It's not designed to make sense. It's designed to make history. So chosen one, lean in. Stay with me until the end, because this word is layered. And by the time we're finished, your spirit will be aligned. Your vision will be lifted. And your heart will be ready for the overflow that's already on its way. This is just the beginning. Chosen one, get ready, because what's about to unfold in your life will feel so fast, so breathtaking. You'll wonder if you're even awake. I'm talking about a shift that happens overnight. One day you're checking the couch cushions for gas money. The next you're logging in to see 6 figures deposited into your account. One day you're standing outside the doors praying for a chance. The next, you're walking confidently into rooms you once only dreamed of. And here's the truth, this isn't luck. It isn't coincidence. This is divine timing. Heaven already declared abundance over your life. God already wrote prosperity into your destiny. What's happening now is simply your reality catching up to what has been decreed over you since the beginning. But hear me clearly, this is bigger than digits and dollar signs. Money by itself cannot carry the weight of your calling. What's coming your way is not just currency. It is trust. It is responsibility. It is kingdom assignment. To whom much is given, much will be required. Luke 12:48. This wealth is not arriving as a trophy for you to show off. It is arriving as a tool for you to build, to heal, to serve, to restore. That's why God chose you. Because he saw someone he could trust not to worship the blessing, but to worship the one who gave it. But let me pause here, because there's a side of sudden wealth that few are willing to talk about. Do you know that more than 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt within just 5 years? 70%. Not because they were cursed, but because they were unprepared. They caught what they couldn't carry. They touched overflow without having the foundation to sustain it. And that, chosen one, is why your journey has been different. Others might have thought you were being delayed. Some even mocked you, saying you were forgotten. But you weren't forgotten. You were being forged. You've been in the hidden season, the quiet season, the season where it felt like nothing was moving. When in reality, everything was being built inside of you. While others were chasing platforms, you were learning patience. While they were desperate for applause, you were being trained for assignment. That tension you've lived with, the pressure, the waiting, The silence. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. God was building the infrastructure inside of you so that when the blessing arrived, you would not just receive it. You would carry it, because wealth in its purest form is more than financial. True prosperity touches your spirit, your mind, your health, your family. And when it's heaven sent, it comes to expand you without destroying you. So when the sudden shift happens, and it will, don't shrink back. Don't doubt it. Don't say, "This can't be real." Recognize it for what it is, a divine handoff, a transfer of trust, a release of resources into the hands of someone who has been tried, tested, and proven. Chosen one, this is not just about you being blessed. This is about you being entrusted. Heaven has seen your stewardship in little things, and now heaven is preparing to trust you with much. Stay with me, because in the next part, we're going deeper into why that delay was never denial. It was divine design. Chosen one, lean in, because what I'm about to tell you is the reason your journey has felt so heavy, so drawn out, so different from everyone else's. You've wondered why the doors didn't open when you knocked. You've cried asking, God, why your prayers seem delayed while others seem to be flying past you. You've wrestled with silence, with disappointment, with the weight of waiting, and maybe, just maybe, you thought God had forgotten you. But hear me clearly, you were never forgotten. You were being formed. Delay is not denial. Delay is design. Every quiet season, every hidden year, every moment where it felt like nothing was happening, was actually heaven's blueprint at work. You see, premature promotion can destroy destiny. If the blessing had come too soon, if the wealth had landed in your hands before your foundation was ready, it wouldn't have blessed you. It would have broken you. Think about Joseph. God gave him dreams of influence, visions of authority. But did he step straight into the palace? No. He had to endure betrayal from his brothers. He had to endure the pit. He had to endure false accusations and prison. And it wasn't because God abandoned him. It was because God was building him. Joseph needed the prison to prepare his perspective, so he could carry the palace without collapsing under its weight. Chosen one, your silence has been sacred. That strange stillness you felt, it wasn't rejection. It was rehearsal. Heaven was equipping you in private for what would be demanded of you in public. While others were racing toward visibility, you were being strengthened in obscurity. While they were chasing applause, you were being shaped in anonymity. And that wasn't a punishment. It was protection. Because wealth is not just money. Wealth is influence. Wealth is access. Wealth is responsibility. And if influence lands on unhealed hearts, it exposes the cracks. If power comes to insecure souls, it magnifies their fears. God loves you too much to let your destiny collapse under the weight of your own unpreparedness. That's why he hid you. That's why he slowed you down. That's why he let some doors remain shut, even when you were pounding on them with everything you had, not because he didn't want you inside, but because the room wasn't ready for you. Or maybe you weren't ready for the room. Sometimes God hides you because your value is too sacred to be mishandled. If he had revealed you too soon, the wrong hands would have claimed what wasn't theirs. Opportunists would have attached themselves to your promise. Manipulators would have packaged your gift for their own profit. So God shielded you. He covered you, not because you lacked value, but because your value was too high to be wasted. Chosen one, the wait has been a wall of protection. The silence has been a sanctuary. The delay has been divine design. And now, you're stepping into the fruit of that preparation. Stay close, because in the next section, we're going to talk about what happens when the blessing finally arrives, and how wealth doesn't change you, it reveals you. Chosen one, let's get real for a moment. You've been praying for increase. You've been asking God for breakthrough, for abundance, for sudden wealth. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. Money doesn't change you. Money exposes you. Wealth is a mirror. It doesn't create darkness. It shines a spotlight on the shadows that were already there. If insecurity was whispering in your heart, wealth will hand it a microphone. If pride was growing quietly in the background, wealth will put it center stage. If jealousy, bitterness, or fear were hiding in the corners of your soul, wealth will drag them into the light. That's why this journey has felt so intense. Because God isn't just preparing your hands to hold wealth. He's preparing your heart to survive it. Think about King Saul. He didn't begin as arrogant. He started small in his own eyes, humble, unnoticed. But the moment the crown touched his head, the cracks in his character widened. His insecurity became obsession. His fear of losing power consumed him. And instead of serving the people, he sabotaged his own destiny. Chosen one, God refuses to let that be your story. Because sudden wealth isn't just a blessing, it's a test. It smiles like a miracle, but it stares into the depths of your character. And if your identity is still wrapped in yesterday's lack, then tomorrow's abundance will own you instead of you owning it. That's why God allowed the pressure. That's why he allowed the waiting. That's why he let you sit in seasons of not yet. He wasn't punishing. He was purifying you, burning away the pride, stripping away the greed, breaking off the addiction to applause. Because wealth in the hands of a wounded heart doesn't heal, it harms. It doesn't purify, it scorches. It cuts others and it cuts you. You've probably noticed it already. In seasons of lack, your boundaries were clear. You prayed with urgency. You planned with precision. You leaned on God because you knew you had no other choice. But here's the danger. When abundance shows up, the urgency can fade. The hunger can soften. The boundaries can blur. Abundance doesn't just bring comfort. It brings choices. And choices bring temptation. Temptation to spend without thought. Temptation to prove yourself. Temptation to impress people who never loved you in the first place. Temptation to seek validation through possessions, platforms, and applause. That's why God trained you in obscurity.
That's why he watched how you prayed when no one was clapping.
That's why he measured your heart when no stage was available. Because if you can be faithful with little, he can trust you with much. Wealth doesn't fix emptiness. It highlights it. It doesn't cure loneliness. It magnifies it. It doesn't erase wounds. It exposes them. But here's the good news. God has already been healing you. Every tear you cried in the hidden place was watering the soil of your character. Every season of stillness was building the strength you would need to carry what's coming. Every moment you thought was wasted was actually an investment in your integrity. So don't be afraid of the blessing. Don't fear the overflow, because the same God who trained you in lack will guide you in abundance. Chosen one, the real wealth isn't in your bank account. The real wealth is in your character, and heaven will not place divine treasure into unstable hands. That's why your preparation matters. That's why your process was necessary. Because what's coming is too valuable to be wasted. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll talk about the battles that come with elevation, how wealth not only attracts blessings, but also warfare. Chosen one, listen carefully. When elevation comes, so does attention. When wealth enters your life, it doesn't just bring opportunity, it brings opposition. Because light always attracts both seekers and shadows. The moment God begins to lift you, people who once ignored you will suddenly notice you. Some will come with genuine love, others with hidden agendas. Some will celebrate you, others will secretly resent you. And here's the truth. The weight of wealth is not just in managing money, it's in managing people. Wealth shifts how others see you. Friends who once laughed with you may now compete with you. Relatives who once dismissed you may now demand from you. Strangers who don't even know your name may still feel entitled to your blessing. That's why discernment becomes your greatest currency. Because not everyone who claps for you is for you. Not every invitation is divine. Not every partnership is safe. Think of Nehemiah, chosen by God to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. He carried a divine assignment and with it came provision. But as soon as the work began, so did the warfare. Sanballat and Tobiah tried to distract him, discourage him, even lure him away from the wall with fake meetings. Nehemiah discerned their motives, and he refused to come down. Chosen one, you must do the same. Wealth without wisdom is dangerous. Wealth without boundaries is destructive. If you don't set limits, people will drain you until nothing remains. If you don't guard your circle, the wrong voices will suffocate your vision. Boundaries are not selfish, they are sacred. Saying no is not rejection, it is protection. You are not called to fund every dream, fix every problem, or carry every burden. Even Jesus, who carried the weight of the world's salvation, didn't heal every person in every town. He moved by discernment. He acted by assignment. And so must you. Wealth will test your ability to stay rooted. The enemy knows that if he can't keep you broke, he'll try to keep you distracted. If he can't block your blessing, he'll try to bury you in false obligations. That's why you need spiritual clarity. That's why you need a sharpened ear to God's voice. Because not every good thing is a God thing. The warfare also shifts internally. Abundance will stir old wounds if you let it. The enemy will whisper lies. You don't deserve this. They're only around for your money. You're going to lose it all. These are fiery darts meant to weaken your confidence and shake your faith. But chosen one, you were not lifted to be broken. You were lifted to be a light. and light must learn to guard itself against the shadows. So here's your call. Pray for wisdom as much as you pray for wealth. Seek discernment as much as you seek dollars. Ask for clarity as much as you ask for increase. Because wealth without discernment is like a sword without a sheath, powerful, but dangerous to carry. Remember this, you are not just being trusted with riches. You are being trusted with responsibility. You are not just being elevated, you are being watched. And with that, you must learn to protect the oil God has placed on your life. Stay close, chosen one. Because in the next section, we'll talk about the final piece, how wealth is not just for you, but for legacy. What you do with it will outlive you. Chosen one, take a deep breath, because this part matters more than anything we've talked about so far. The blessing you're stepping into, it isn't just for you. It was never only about your comfort, your house, your car, or your success. Those things may come, but they are side effects, not the mission. The mission is bigger. The mission is generational. Wealth, when placed in the hands of the chosen, becomes a weapon for legacy. It becomes the bridge between what your ancestors dreamed of and what your descendants will walk in. It becomes the proof that the curses of yesterday have been broken. Think about Abraham. God didn't bless him just to make his life easier. God blessed him so that through him, all nations would be blessed. His wealth wasn't an end, it was a tool. It carried purpose that stretched beyond his lifetime. And you, chosen one, are carrying that same call. That's why the battle has been so intense. Because what you're carrying doesn't stop with you. The enemy wasn't just after your peace, he was after your lineage. He wanted to stop the flow of blessing before it could ever reach your children, your grandchildren, your bloodline. But he failed. You're still here. And because of that, everything changes. Wealth in your hands isn't just income, it's inheritance. It shifts stories. It rewrites history. It turns, we never had enough, into, we will never lack again. It turns, our family was cursed, into, our family is chosen. But legacy isn't only financial. It's spiritual. It's emotional. It's the character you build into your children when they watch how you handle success. It's the faith you pass down when they see you put God above the gold. It's the integrity they inherit when they witness you choosing truth over shortcuts. Chosen one, your legacy will outlive your bank account. Your true wealth will be measured in lives touched, hearts healed, chains broken. The money will fade, but the impact will echo. Think about it. When Joseph rose to power, the wealth of Egypt wasn't just for him. It was so he could feed nations in famine. When Esther was elevated to the throne, it wasn't for her comfort. It was so she could intercede for her people. When David became king, it wasn't just so he could rule. It was so he could establish a kingdom where God's presence dwelled. Every elevation in Scripture came with responsibility, and yours will too. But here's the beauty. God chose you because he knew you could handle it. He trusted you because your heart is aligned with heaven. He knew you wouldn't hoard the blessing. He knew you'd multiply it. He knew you wouldn't just enjoy the overflow. He knew you'd share it. This is why your process was so long. Because legacy cannot be built on shortcuts. It must be forged in patience, integrity, and discipline. And you've proven that you can carry it. So when the wealth comes, remember, it's not about shining for a season. It's about building for generations. It's not about applause, it's about impact. It's not about you. It's about the ones who will come after you, walking on the foundation you laid. Chosen one, your legacy has already begun. The fact that you're listening right now is proof that heaven has appointed you as a generational shift. You are the bridge. You are the breaker of cycles. You are the one who carries both the burden and the blessing of legacy. And in the final section, we will talk about the closing truth, how to step into this destiny with humility, gratitude, and unshakable faith. Chosen one, here we are. You've walked through the waiting. You've endured the testing. You've been refined by fire, hidden by God, and prepared in silence. And now, the season you've prayed for, cried for, and fought for, it's here. But hear me clearly. Stepping into your destiny requires more than just receiving. It requires alignment. Wealth, elevation, influence, these are not finish lines. They are starting points. The blessing isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of responsibility. And now, everything you've learned in the shadows will be demanded in the spotlight. Chosen one, do not shrink back. You weren't prepared all this time just to arrive here and hide. You were prepared to rise, to stand boldly, to walk with humility and strength in the exact calling heaven placed on you. Remember, this is not about perfection, it's about posture. The posture of gratitude. The posture of surrender. The posture of staying anchored in God even when everything around you shifts. Because here's the truth. The blessing is heavy. It will stretch you. It will demand more from you than you ever imagined. But don't let that scare you. Let it remind you. If God trusted you with it, it means He already equipped you for it. This is why you had to walk through rejection. This is why you had to endure betrayal. This is why you had to learn how to hear His voice above the noise. Because now, in this season, the same God who carried you through the wilderness will guide you through the promised land. Don't let wealth pull you away from worship. Don't let elevation erase your dependence. Don't let success silence your prayer life. Because what brought you here, your faith, your discipline, your hunger for God will be the same keys that keep you here. Chosen one, lift your head high. This is your moment. Not because the road will suddenly be easy, but because you finally understand the purpose of the road. Every scar you carry is now a testimony. Every tear you shed is now a seed of harvest. Every delay you survived is now a sign that you were chosen, not forgotten. Walk with courage. Step with authority. Speak with wisdom. Live with humility. And above all, keep your heart aligned with the one who called you. Because this is bigger than wealth. It's bigger than influence. It's bigger than platforms or applause. This is about destiny. This is about generations. This is about fulfilling the exact assignment heaven placed in your hands before you even took your first breath. Chosen one, the wait is over. The blessing is here. The time is now. Step boldly. Step faithfully. Step with the confidence that you are not walking alone. You are walking with divine purpose guiding your every step. And as you rise, never forget, this was never just about you. It was always about the lives you'll touch, the chains you'll break, and the legacy you'll leave behind. So take a deep breath, square your shoulders, lift your eyes, and step into your destiny.